Okay guys, let's put it to the test. And this is the first ever. It hasn't been done before, and I'm not pretending that I got this all and that I know all the answers, but here goes. I have been thinking about this for a long time, and I was like, the past few years, lack of motivation, no drive, no energy, and I was thinking like, what is happening with me? And I noticed this pattern across everyone, my friends here in UK, in London. People have lost the motivation, have lost the drive, and the question is why. So let's dig into it today. And I think I got the answer. I think I got the answer right. Well, first of all, I came across this idea by watching one movie, and the movie is called Pay Forward. Have you seen that? I think it's an old movie, nothing new, but the concept was interesting. But it's not about the concept of this, but the character in the movie was doing something, and that made me to think what this person is doing and why he is doing. And then I actually extended this thought, and then I came to a realization, you know what? That's true. That is the secret. That is the key to energy. That is the key to all the motivation and drive. And this is the pattern that you're going to notice in every committed, driven, motivated, highly successful person. These are the things. Look, this is something new. I just came up with this literally 1 month ago, and I have shared this thought, I think only with one or two people. One or two people know that so far. But if you ever have wondered where to get energy, where to get motivation, and if you feel like, well, I'm not enough energized, I don't have the drive, I don't have the motivation, and kind of I had it before, but now I don't have it. Let's look into this first. Why did we have it before? Why don't we have it now? What has changed? We know that COVID has been in the middle and it impacted many people's lives, also mine, and we can also point fingers on COVID and people and whoever has done something to you. Well, you know what? Well, it's not about pointing fingers, and it's not about the past, because what has happened in the past, it happened in the past. But why are we affected now today? So the question is, we don't have the energy today, and let's dig deep. Why don't we have energy today despite the facts what happened in the past? Because no one is doing this to us. There is no more COVID. There is freedom. We can travel, we can go to work, we can do whatever. But yet somehow there is no energy, there is no motivation. And the biggest crisis that is there is not in the gas and electricity, but it's in energy crisis within us, in people's lives, okay, including mine. And well, let me tell you a story. I tried to do quite a few different things. I've done some challenges like fitness challenges, diets, reading, writing down notes, staying inside. I just done a lot of the experiments and see to find out what changes in my feelings, what changes in my life. And to be honest, and then after, once I found out this simple thing, this simple step, that actually is the key to all the energy in people's lives, is I realized I was actually subconsciously doing that thing that I should supposed to do, and that gave me the energy. Because somehow, even though I went through a lot of things in the life and in the past few years, somehow I have done quite well, and I'm happy with whatever results I have achieved in this season. But it's not about me. It's about what you can take home and what you can learn from this. But I have to tell a story. So the story goes this. Well, I came up with this idea. Let's do 365 days something. That's actually a hint. 365 days of the push-ups. And it's not a story about the push-ups, because see, the thing is, it's not about perfection. Because the perfection is the lowest standard. Did you know that perfection is the lowest standard? Because perfectionists rarely do something. It's better to do something and to learn, and then to achieve, and then to improve, and then to move forward, than trying to do perfectly and not to do anything. So here the same thing. Taking up something that we're going to require consistency, that will require focus, and that will going to be a little bit challenging, and for you to make it harder each day to add one more actually is something that you get used to the resistance. And of course, our growth is into the challenges. Well, if we cannot face the challenges, if we cannot face any difficulties, there is no growth. If there is no growth, there is no happiness, there is no drive, there is stagnation. We are sitting in one place, and that's the COVID season when everyone is at home and no one really was truly happy, because we know what has happened after the COVID. There's more people struggling with mental health than before. Although before they were working and all they were talking about, look, I just want to go on holidays, I just want to stay at home and do nothing and get paid for it. And when they could sit at home and do nothing and get paid for it, all of a sudden that was the worst thing that could happen to them. And the question is why? Why? The story is this. I done this for 1 year. It was challenging. It came to me as a realization. This was something that actually gave me that energy to go through whatever situations was coming on. And let me give you an example. So before COVID, people were complaining about the directors and the bosses that they are bad, and then they have to commute a lot, and they are tired, they don't have enough money, they don't have energy, whatever. They were like complaining. Life was bad. And then came the COVID times. Everyone was home. You cannot go to cinema, you cannot go to gym, you cannot do nothing. You just have to stay at home. Some people were without jobs and without any support, and a lot of us was without jobs but still with some government support. And then we realized, actually, well, the previous times was good. Like before, it was good. And then we said, look, we want back what was there before. The truth is, we were complaining, but the life was good before. Now we're in a situation where we also complain, but we understand that this is no good. And now, think about this. When the COVID ended, we came out from these restrictions, from these limitations. Of course, you could say, look, these limitations and everything killed my dreams, killed my energy, killed my opportunities. But the situation is, when we came out from COVID, well, now we could do everything. We could, like last year, 2022, you go to cinema, go to the gym, go travel, do whatever you want. Well, there's no restrictions. Now, all of a sudden, you could do whatever you want, but yet there is no drive, yet there is no energy. And the question, why? If these restrictions was the obstacle, there's no obstacle. You should have the energy. If it was a lot of work, like before we had a lot of work, before COVID, and now we could do a lot of work, you could just do whatever you want. You can start new business, do extra shifts, do overtimes, whatever, but you don't even have time for the overtime. People wanted to do less. They want to communicate less. They wanted to work from home. They wanted to travel less. They literally wanted to do less in everywhere, in all areas of their lives. And then I came to this thought. When I watched this movie, Pay Forward, this guy, he had basically like child abuse, and his father has treated him very bad, and he basically poured a petrol on him, light a fire, and basically he almost killed the kid. And then he has all these scars on his face, on the body and everything. And it comes to a point where he basically starts to develop this relationship with this girl, and then they are about to have sex, but he then turns away and runs away because he was basically scared that she was gonna see how his chest looks like, because it's all in these like kind of burn marks, and he wasn't feeling confident anyway. And then she comes to his house, and guess what he's doing there? So at the middle of the night, he runs home because he's scared, insecure, vulnerable. He runs away. The girl comes over, says, is it because of me? I done something wrong, whatever. And what he's doing, he's like ironing his shirts and doing the things. And he says this thing, at least this is manageable. At least this is manageable. And I thought to myself, wow, this is it. So what is manageable? When he came across stress situations, he has developed this routine. And this routine has ironing or doing his clothes, whatever, that would calm him down. That would actually be something that he can manage, because the emotions comes and goes and he cannot control them. But at least once he do this, then he can control his emotions. And also, I know one one of my friends, she said whenever she has a hangover, what does she do? She said she's cleaning house. So when she's cleaning house, she's feeling better. She forgets that she has hangover and she feels much better. Okay, so that again proves the point. And now come back to the COVID times. Before COVID, we had this routine. You have to be 9 o'clock at work. You had to catch that bus. You have to be before the traffic in your car. You go grab the coffee in that Starbucks. You do whatever. Then in lunch break you do this, and then at that time you go to the gym, or before or after, whatever. You have the routine. And then you know what? You wasn't feeling energized. You wasn't feeling super motivated, because even though you were tired, you wake up and you done it. The feelings changed, and then you could do more. And now what has happened, you give the freedom to people to work from home, to do whatever they want, and all of a sudden there's like, I could do, but then I choose not to do. I could have, but I choose not to have. I could invest that energy or the time or the money, but I decide not to. And basically people just started to choose to do less. And now all of a sudden, because there is no structure, there is no routine, what has happened, they always go for the easiest option, and then the emotions and everything changes, and it's hard to find that drive, it's hard to find the motivation. And when you have these small routines, and I'm not talking about big ones, that's why I pointed out this 365-day challenge, is when I was doing the 365-day challenge, look, it took me like 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the beginning, maybe 11, 15 minutes just to do the push-ups, and then maybe like 15, 20, whatever minutes, yeah? But that's in a day, but at least there was something constant. And if, for example, today you go in a swimming pool and you swim 100 meters, and then you go running, then you do something else, you cannot measure any progress. But if you went today 100 meters, tomorrow 101, then 102, 103, eventually you go to a point where it's like, well, I'm moving forward somewhere. And also, see, the thing is, you know how it is, going to the gym. You don't feel like going to the gym, but when you go to the gym, you change the emotions, you change the feelings, and you get the drive, you get the energy. So the energy is always coming in a form of routines, of disciplines. And sometimes we don't have a choice. For example, someone at your work says, yeah, you need to be 9 to 5. Well, it's not your choice, but you are 9 to 5, and you manage to get out of bed, you get your breakfast, you get to work, and you get home, and you still can do a lot of things. But if you have day off and you stay in the bed, maybe you just wake up at 5 o'clock. Maybe over Christmas period, when you had like a long day offs, and maybe during COVID, your time cycle has shifted. You were up all night and you were sleeping all day. Well, how much of energy did you had during the time? So you see these patterns. These patterns is actually that you can notice in any highly energized person. They have something that they do. They go, let's say, in the morning to the gym. They like constantly go to work. They, go to the library. They constantly go to whatever they do. But they have some consistency. And this consistency is something that you can build things around. And I'm not here to tell you what exactly you need to be consistent. But how will you feel when you're going to have that consistency? When you're going to see the results? When you're going to have the motivation, when you're going to have the energy, and when you're going to put this all into whatever you want to achieve in your life, and you're going to see the results. And think about this. There were many people who started the 365-day challenge of push-ups, but only few finished. So the 2023, we all start, but sooner or later it will be 2024. 2024 we're going to come anyway, but the results are going to be different. And how you can make a difference in your life by committing to small things. And I'm not saying that you have to go big. Do not kill yourself, but do something small, because the biggest enemy is complexity. The more complex things you have, the less you want to do it. The more simple things is there around you, the more likely you're going to be doing them. So think about this, something small that you can do that would gonna give you energy. And that could be, probably I have done this as well, 10,000 steps a day. Just go for a walk, go talk to someone on the phone, just going out and do whatever. Or you're going to be listening to a podcast and changing your mindset, because when you change your beliefs, you change your future, because the beliefs could either destroy or build, and whatever you believe becomes your reality. So think about who you want to basically follow and have as a role model, because the best way to do is find someone who has done it already. If you want to, I don't know, start your own business, think about who has done this and listen to them, shadow them, see what they do. There's plenty of people out there who's speaking about whatever they do openly. Now we live in this age that there is no lack of information, there is only lack of action. And whatever information you take, it shouldn't lead you to knowledge, but it should lead you to action, because action will going to give you the results. You're going to see the difference. Let's go, let's keep it cool, and see you next time. Well, this was my first one, I don't know how did it go, but we nailed it. And one of my New Year's resolutions was to actually start a podcast, so I started this. This is a maybe a fail, maybe an experiment, maybe a great success, but like and follow and share. I don't know what do you have to do and where is all the clicks, because I have never done this before, but guys,